Good evening. Thank you for joining us. You're watching News at 10 with me, Mohammed Amin Carlos. Well, the government will still maintain the interstate travel ban as it is one of the causes behind the rise of the daily COVID-19 positive cases in the country. And Senior Minister for Security, Dato Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, said the matter was decided at the COVID-19 Technical Committee meeting today after the Health Ministry identified 38 clusters with 5,471 positive cases linked to interstate travel.
Sehubungan dengan itulah, akibat daripada data yang saya sebutkan tadi mengenai kes yang tinggi berkaitan dengan rentas negeri, maka KKM dan MKN meletakkan bahawa pergerakan rentas negeri perlu diperketatkan.
The senior minister said Kelantan, which was a green state, now saw all of its 10 districts categorized as red zones. Last week, the Health Ministry had proposed that interstate travel for the Hari Raya Aidil Fitri celebrations be postponed due to the COVID-19 transmission rate still being at worrying levels. Well, Malaysia today reported 2,847 more COVID-19 infections as case numbers remain above the 2,000 mark for the 9th straight day. Well, a tweet by Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah showed Selangor once again reporting the most number of new cases with 748 infections, followed by Sarawak with 717 cases and Kuala Lumpur with 302 new positive cases. So today's numbers bring the tally of local cases to 387,535 COVID-19 infections to date. And in his full statement, Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham revealed that are currently 22,512 active cases being treated. And he said a total of 260 patients are currently warded in intensive care units across the country, with 125 of them requiring breathing assistance. And a total of 8 more deaths were reported today, bringing the local COVID-19 death toll to 1,415. But on a positive note, 2,341 more patients have recovered and discharged, bringing the recovery rate to 93.8%, with 363,608 patients cured so far. Also reported by Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham was 8 new clusters, 5 involving educational institutions, 4 of which are government schools, 2 community clusters and 1 detected in a workplace. Well, 39 clusters with 1,420 cases involving subcategories of schools or institutions under the Education Ministry have been detected from 1st January to the 20th of April. Well, based on an infographic posted on the Health Ministry's official Twitter account, well, clusters involving educational institutions have doubled from 6 to 12 in the period of 7 days last week. So as a result, a number of schools in several states were ordered to close to curb the spread of the COVID-19 virus among students and educators. On 18th April, all schools and educational institutions in 7 districts in Kelantan were ordered to close following the implementation of the Movement Control Order, that's the MCO, in the state until 24th April. On 20th April, Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Methodist in Jalan Sungai Daun, Nibong Tebal in Seberang Perai Selatan, Pulau Pinang was ordered to close following a COVID-19 case at the school, and it is expected to reopen on 26th April. On the same day, a total of 19 schools in Selangor were also closed. 2 schools in Johor Bahru, Johor, namely SMK Taman Daya 3 and SMK Taman Daya, were also ordered to close on that same date. On 21st April, the number of schools forced to close in Johor increased to 27 after recording positive COVID-19 cases among staff and students. Today, 6 more schools in the state have been closed for sanitization operations following the detection of COVID-19 case yesterday, bringing the number of schools involved in the state to 33 compared to 27 schools 2 days ago. The federal government has approved the Sarawak government's request to purchase its own COVID-19 vaccines for the use of the people in the state. And Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Amar Douglas Ugahambas said the approval was given during his meeting with Coordinating Minister for the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, Khairi Jamaluddin, in Putrajaya recently. According to Dato' Amar, Sarawak State COVID-19 Advisory Group had been given the responsibility to discuss about the purchase with the vaccine supplier. Well, he said the vaccine will be used as reserve in case there is any problem with the supply from federal government. The Deputy Chief Minister also expressed hope that the federal government would accept the registration for the immunization program that was done manually by residents in the rural areas. He explained that a lot of rural folk conducted manual registration at district or resident offices as they do not have smartphones or online registrations.
Kerajaan negeri Sarawak akan mencadang kepada Kuala Lumpur supaya kita nak mengatur sistem ala Sarawak, kerana keadaan di Sarawak lebih susah. Misalnya kalau kita as we move to the interior, then this issue will be becoming more and more serious.
He said this after observing the implementation of the second phase of the national COVID-19 immunization program for the Kuching division at Stadium Perpaduan Putrajaya today. The Perikatan National PN government will continue taking appropriate measures to achieve balance between protecting the lives and livelihoods of the people affected by the COVID-19. The Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said Malaysia was not spared from the negative impact of the pandemic, which had affected the safety and well-being of the people as well as the economy.
Pandemik ini telah membuat kita menyedari bahawa untuk maju ke hadapan, kita harus melepaskan diri kita daripada kehidupan yang biasa dengan memperkenalkan pelbagai langkah yang efektif bagi mengurangkan impak pandemik ini terhadap rakyat dan ekonomi negara kita. Kini bukan lagi business as usual. Kini adalah masanya untuk percambahan idea baru dan menjadi lebih berinovasi.
The Premier explained that right from the beginning, the government had taken the 6R approach, namely resolve, resilient, restart, recover, revitalize and reform in achieving a balance between ensuring the survival of the people and economic recovery of the country. He said Malaysia is currently in the revitalize phase, which is to revitalize the country's economy. Tan Sri Muhyiddin added that an important aspect of the economic recovery is the successful implementation of the national COVID-19 immunization program, and all plans for the vaccination program are now running smoothly.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Apa khabar semua? The National COVID-19 Immunization Program will be rolled out soon. To those eligible, I urge you to register and get vaccinated according to the schedule given. Getting vaccinated is very important to achieve herd immunity while preventing the pandemic from spreading further. For more information on the vaccination registration, you may refer to your My Sejahtera application. Let us protect our beloved nation together from COVID-19 by getting vaccinated. Lindung diri, lindung semua.
Coming up, more items will be added to festive season price control scheme. Well, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin is urging all the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry, or KPD, and HEP staff to continue playing a more active role in regulating the domestic trade sector, especially in distributive trade, to ensure a smoother economic management. So the Prime Minister explained that Central Bank of Malaysia recently projected that the country's economy is expected to expand between 6 and 7.5% this year. However, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said the economic expansion will depend on a number of fundamental factors, including the recovery of domestic activity coupled with increased external demand.
Dalam usaha kita untuk mengekang penularan wabak ini dan juga memastikan kelancaran aktiviti perekonomian. Ini termasuklah tugas saudara dan saudari dalam memastikan kelangsungan aktiviti pengedaran yang dapat dilihat utamanya semasa tempoh awal Perintah Kawalan Pergerakan PKP yang bermula pada bulan Mac 2020. Saya nak mengucapkan syabas kerana kementerian ini telah berjaya menangani situasi pembelian panik ataupun panic buying dan memastikan bekalan barangan keperluan asas pelitup muka, hand sanitizer mencukupi sepanjang tempoh tersebut.
The Premier said one of the methods to accelerate economic recovery is by adapting to the latest technologies, adding that the pandemic has shown the importance of strengthening Malaysia's technological and digital infrastructure. Well, meanwhile, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said KPD and HEP must work with other agencies and take proactive measures apart from continuous monitoring and enforcing law to address issues involving consumer goods price hike during festive seasons. Well, the Prime Minister said this is to eradicate irresponsible actions by traders that had been increasing the price of goods and to protect the consumers' rights. Elaborating further on the matter, Tan Sri Muhyiddin urged Malaysians to play an active role in assisting the government to address the issue by channeling information on traders suspected of hiking price to their respective authorities.
Saudara saya sekalian, kerajaan sedar tindakan sebilangan pemborong atau peniaga yang mengambil kesempatan dengan sewenang-wenangnya menaikkan harga barangan keperluan pada musim-musim tertentu. Sejak akhir-akhir ini kita sering mendengar banyak keluhan daripada rakyat mengenai dakwaan kenaikan harga barangan keperluan utama apabila datangnya musim-musim perayaan seperti bulan Ramadan dan tak lama lagi hari raya. Kenaikan harga barang ini sudah tentunya membebankan pengguna, terutamanya golongan yang berpendapatan rendah, peniaga dan penjaja kecil.
The Premier added that he welcomed the many measures introduced by the government through the ministry to address the issue, including the festive season maximum price control scheme, SHMMP. In a related development, KPD and HEP will be listing more than 30 items under the festive season maximum price control scheme, or SHMMP, for the coming Aidil Fitri. Its Minister, Dato' Sri Alexander Nantalinggi, said the additional list of items would be announced soon. KPD and HEP has previously announced the list of 12 items from 4 categories, namely chicken, chicken eggs, meat and seafood, under the SHMMP for Hari Raya Puasa 2021, which will be implemented for 30 days from 21st April.
Barang-barang lain ini belum lagi ada tekanan. There's no pressure, kata. Jadi kita nak kena adil juga kepada peniaga. Kita bagi dia orang peluang. Kalau kita sekat dari sekarang apa, kalau tak ada apa perlunya, jadi itu buat masalah kepada peniaga juga.
He said this to reporters after a visit by Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin to the Ministry and the Enforcement Command Centre ECC in Putrajaya today. Meanwhile, Dato' Sri Alexander reminded all traders to follow the price control scheme to avoid any enforcement action being taken against them. On the visit, Dato' Sri Alexander said the Prime Minister had given inputs for the Ministry's improvements and for it to remain relevant in addressing the needs and demands of traders and consumers in the country. The Communications and Multimedia Ministry has voiced its concern about Malaysian talent having to go elsewhere to get support because the country's ecosystem is of no help. Well, Minister Dato' Saifuddin Abdullah cited an example in the case of the creators of the pen drive and Grab application leaving elsewhere for supportive assistance.
Antara kerisauan kita ialah manalah tahu ada bakat Malaysia yang sedang melakukan sesuatu yang sangat mustahak, tapi kalau ekosistem kita tidak membantu bakat itu, maka bakat itu mungkin lari ke tempat lain untuk mendapatkan sokongan.
He said this today in an online engagement session with leading technology companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook and Amazon. Dr. Saifuddin said he also asked the technology companies if they had any advice and experience in other countries that could help the Malaysian government to improve its ecosystem to facilitate its talent. Low-cost airline giant AirAsia Group Berhad has partnered with Ringgit Plus, Malaysia's leading financial platform, to set up AirAsia Money, a one-stop financial center that will be available under AirAsia Super App. Well, AirAsia said AirAsia Money serves as an aggregator, offering the best match options to suit customers' needs and goals and helping them to finance or achieve them. AirAsia Money is also a financial marketplace that offers an affordable and comprehensive comparison of financial products and services for customers, providing them with options for financial solutions, awareness and education. Meanwhile, AirAsia Money head Muhammad Fadzil said it is looking at launching in a new market almost every quarter this year, including Indonesia in the third quarter, the Philippines in the fourth quarter, as well as in Thailand.
The next key market that we'll probably go in first would probably be Philippines, because the base is very similar to that of Indonesia and Malaysia as well. That will probably be around Q4, early Q4. We're looking at Thailand. It's a little bit different because of the regulatory components around those markets, but we leverage heavily the fact that AirAsia is already in all those markets.
He said the platform currently offers credit card and personal loans in partnership with Ringgit Plus, but the services will soon be expanded to feature comparison of other financial products and solutions like insurance, investments, financial awareness and education, payments, as well as Islamic financial products and services. Well, Selangor Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari today announced the Special Financial Assistance, or BKK, of half-month salary or a minimum of 1,000 ringgit for state civil servants in conjunction with Aidil Fitri on 19th May. Well, it said the special assistance would also be extended to state executive councillors, speakers, deputy speaker, state assemblymen, top management and members of the state government service with an estimated allocation of 22.675 million ringgit. Datuk Seri Amiruddin said community leaders, including chairman of the Village Community Management Council (MPKK), new villages liaison officers, Indian communities heads and Women Empowerment Program or PWB supervisors would also receive 1,000 ringgit.
Namun hasil kita dapat mencapai sasaran yang telah diberikan dan kita dapat surplus daripada buku kira-kira akhir tahun 2020 ataupun pada 31 Disember dalam buku kira-kira kewangan kerajaan negeri pada akhir tahun 2020. 93 juta tak saya. Ada surplus lebih kurang 93 juta.
Datuk Seri Amiruddin said this at the Mahabah Ramadan with state civil servants event today. Well, apart from that, he said the MPKK secretary and mosque officials, including Imam, will receive 500 ringgit through the Corporate Social Responsibility or CSR program of the state government subsidiaries. As of 15 April, the Selangor state government had recorded a revenue collection of 853.31 million ringgit, or 38.79% of the estimated revenue of 2.20 billion ringgit for 2021, a decrease of 19.39% compared with the same period last year. Well, a 25-year-old man was spared the gallows today when the Butterworth Sessions Court released him from a drug charge he allegedly committed 4 years ago. Now, Judge Ahmed bin Abdul Rahman made the judgment on Ajit Kumar Supia after the prosecution failed to deliver a prima facie case against the accused. Well, according to the charge sheet, Ajit Kumar was alleged to have been distributing drugs weighing 21.2 grams consisting of heroin, that's 16.6 grams, and monoacetyl morphine weighing 4.6 grams. He was charged under Section 39B, subsection 1, subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952 punishable with the mandatory death sentence or life imprisonment. Aini Suhaila appeared for the prosecution while the accused was represented by lawyer RSN Raya. In our foreign front, 14 people killed in a blaze at hospital treating COVID-19 patients. Well, a fire in a hospital treating COVID-19 patients in Western India killed at least 14 people today as the country struggles to cope with the world's biggest surge of daily coronavirus infections since the pandemic began last year. Now, the blaze, which took place early on Friday, was extinguished and 4 survivors have been moved to nearby hospitals. Well, the incident comes amid a second deadly wave of infections in India. And according to an official from the Vijay Vallabh Hospital, a spark from an air conditioner triggered the fire, which was exacerbated by the heavy oxygen supply running in the facility's ICU. It was the latest accident to hit a facility in India crowded with people infected with the coronavirus. And earlier this week, COVID-19 patients died at a public hospital in Maharashtra state when their oxygen supply ran out after a leak in the tank. Health officials across northern and western India, including the capital, New Delhi, said they were in crisis with most hospitals full and running out of oxygen. India recorded 332,730 coronavirus cases, the highest one-day tally anywhere in the world for the second day in a row. Well, a search for 3 boats packed with more than 170 migrants that were reported in distress in heavy seas of Libya has found 1 rubber boat adrift with no survivors, but 10 bodies floating nearby. And French humanitarian organization SOS Mediterranee said the lost boat was one of 3 that had been signaled in distress by civil hotline alarm phone, prompting a search in very rough seas with up to 6-meter waves. While 3 merchant vessels helped the charity's own rescue ship Ocean Viking search for the boats in international waters northeast of the Libyan city of Tripoli. SOS Mediterranee said one of the ships found 3 dead bodies in the water, and an airplane of EU border agency Frontex spotted the wreck of a rubber boat soon after. The organization added that there were no survivors found at the scene, and there were at least 10 bodies in the vicinity of the wreck. Now, more than 350 people have died this year in the central Mediterranean, making the perilous voyage. The UN agencies have called for reactivating state-led search and rescue operations in the Mediterranean and for a halt to returning migrants to unsafe ports. And at least 5 people were killed and a dozen others wounded when a bomb exploded at a top hotel hosting China ambassador in southwestern Pakistan. Now, the blast took place in the Karj part of the Serena, a luxury hotel in the city of Quetta, the capital of Balochistan, where the military has been fighting a decade-long low-level insurgency. Now, Pakistan's Interior Minister Sheikh Rashid Ahmad said China's ambassador to Pakistan, Non Rong, was staying at the hotel but was not there when the bomb exploded. Security officials said the bomb exploded minutes after a car entered the parking lot, and authorities were investigating to determine whether it was a suicide attack. The Pakistani Taliban claim that they were behind the blast, adding that it had targeted police officers and other officials. Well, a Taliban spokesman described it as an attack by a suicide bomber using a car filled with explosives. Explosive experts said about 80 to 90 kilograms of explosives were used in the attack. The provincial government spokesman Lehwat Shahwani called the attack an act of terrorism intended to disrupt peace in Balochistan. In our sports segment, Seville and St. Petersburg set to replace Bilbao and Dublin for Euro 2020. Well, Seville has replaced Bilbao as a host city for Euro 2020, with St. Petersburg in Russia already a host venue, taking the 3 group stage games from Dublin. Wembley Stadium in London has gained the Irish capital's last 16 match, adding to its list of fixtures, which include the semi-finals and final. So UEFA's executive committee was forced into the changes after Bilbao and Dublin could not guarantee the presence of fans at matches. Munich, which had been in doubt, has been confirmed as a venue. Munich was the 3rd host city that had been unable to offer UEFA the fan guarantees it needed, but a new plan to allow at least 14,500 supporters into the Alliance Arena, despite rising infection numbers in the country, was approved by UEFA. Well, Atletico had earlier brushed aside Huesca 2-0 to register back-to-back victories for the first time since January, thanks to goals from Ángel Correa and Yannick Carrasco. Atletico are chasing a first La Liga title since 2014, but still have to play title rivals Barcelona away on 8th May. Huesca are 18th in the table, 1 point from safety with 6 games remaining. They went close to taking a surprise early lead, but Dimitrios Siova's close-range shot was saved by Jan Oblak before Argentina forward Correa scored his 3rd goal in 2 games. Carrasco added the 2nd, while Marcos Llorente finished the match with 2 assists. And then Lionel Messi gave up the chance for a hat-trick yesterday as Barcelona held off a late fight back from Getafe to win 5-2 and stay in the race at the top of La Liga. Now, Messi scored twice and could have had a 3rd in injury time at Camp Nou, but deferred a penalty to Antoine Griezmann, who completed what is, in the end, a comfortable victory. Messi broke the deadlock before lowly Getafe equalized through Clement Lenglet's own goal. A mix-up between Sofian Chakla and keeper David Soria restored Barca's lead, and Messi made it 3-1. Enes Unal's penalty gave Getafe hope, but goals by Ronald Araujo and Antoine Griezmann sealed the points. And after beating Atletico Bilbao to lift the Copa del Rey last weekend, Barca are now in the hunt for the double, sitting 5 points behind Atletico Madrid, but still with a game in hand. Getafe are not safe yet, 4 points the gap above the bottom 3. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal needed to go the distance for the 2nd successive day in Barcelona before beating Japan's Kei Nishikori to make the last 8 and stay on course for a 12th title at the tournament. Well, the world number 3 triumphed 6-love to 6-6-2 over 2014 and 2015 champion Nishikori. It is the 2nd time the top seed has dropped a set in his run in Barcelona after qualifier Ilya Ivashka also forced the world number 3 to 3 sets in the 2nd round on Wednesday. Former world number 4 Nishikori, now down at 39 in the rankings, was left to regret converting just 2 of 13 breakpoints carved out against the man who also beat him in the 2016 Barcelona final. Nadal will face Cameron Norrie in the quarters, with the Brit advance over David Goffin, who retired from their last 16 match earlier in the day. Nadal beat Norrie in their only previous meeting in straight sets in the Australian Open 3rd round in February. And that concludes this evening's News at 10. In our top story, interstate travel ban remains. Well, do join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Or you can also catch us at RTM Click's mobile app or website. I am Mohammed Amin Carlos, and do stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM. Good night.